Welcome to the SMB Advertising Podcast, where our aim is to help 1 million small and medium-sized businesses to advertise like a professional. My name is Mike Damjanovic. I'm an ad-line specialist and I'm the host of this very special podcast. My aim is to inspire, to educate, and to really help all of those that are listening and viewing this to succeed with their advertising. So today, Carl and I are going to be focusing on ads, and more specifically, we're going to be looking at how to conduct a proper A/B test. So, Carl, welcome. How are you doing today?
Thank you. I'm excited to be back. I'm doing fine.
Perfect. So, Carl, we're going to look at how to do a proper A/B test with your ads. So, perhaps let's start with, what is a proper A/B test? What is A/B testing?
Sure. So, A/B testing is the art of experimenting different variations to find the best possible impact. That's the what.
Perfect. And that's the what. And then, how should a company then start to look at, how do you do A/B testing?
Yeah. So basically, you have two things. You have one thing we call the control. And the control is basically, it could be your current ad or your original ad. It could be your original newsletter or whatever. But then you create one variation or more variations where the goal is to beat the control. So the variations, once you find a winning variation, after you have tested it out, then you switch the control with the winning variation. So then you have a new control. So that's kind of an endless experimentation loop where you start out with one control, you create several variations where you try to beat the control. Once they beat the control, you switch, and then that's how it goes. Then it becomes better and better and better.
Okay, so then in terms of, so how to conduct is basically let's say that you have one image, and that's what you call your control, and then you're testing that with other images. Is that correct? And then if you find an image
Correct.
that is performing better, then that becomes your new control. Is that correct?
Correct. So those different images would be
Perfect. So,
variations. Yeah.
Variations, yeah. So we had the what and the how, but why should somebody listening actually bother to run a proper A/B test with their ads?
Yeah, sure. So if you look at many of the biggest tech companies today, where did they start at? So many of them started out with doing a lot of experimentation. They did a lot of A/B testing, which led to rapid growth further down the line. Because the more you test, the more luck you will get, basically. So suddenly you will find a winner that is really effective. It could be an ad. Suddenly you find an ad that really performs. So I talked to a customer actually yesterday that have run a lot of tests where the goal is just to collect a lot of data. They test many different ads. Once they found the winning ad, they scale that ad further. So that's why you should do A/B testing, and even the smallest business could do it with easy tweaks.
Can I ask a question then? So in terms of A/B testing, I think perhaps if we use AdLine as an example, often we have had an idea or an opinion that this type of ad will work well. And then we've tested it and perhaps it hasn't worked so well. Is that kind of the reason that you should be doing A/B testing, or is it to further improve the ads that you do know work well?
Yeah, good point. So let's say we know we have this ad that is performing really well. So that ad, we will keep it as long as we find a new winner. So once we find a new winner, we can start focusing more on that winner. We don't necessarily have to quit the ones that worked before, but the point is just start creating new winning ads or new ads and try to get them to outperform the current ad you have. Hope I answered your question.
Are there any pitfalls? Yeah, perfectly, yeah. So, are there any pitfalls to avoid when A/B testing?
Yeah, so it's very actually easy to fall in the trap to change too many elements in a variation at the same time. So when you change too many things, it quickly becomes chaos in the testing. You don't know exactly what actually made the impact. So to avoid doing that, let's take the ad example again. So you have the controlling ad, you duplicate that ad 3 times, for instance. And on these 3 different variations, you change either the headline, either the image, or the body copy, the description of the ad. So basically, you change one thing on every single variation. You don't change multiple things in every variation, just one thing.
Okay, so if you are a small company, or let's say that if you are somebody that's very new to advertising, you can A/B test with headlines, images, the text, the target audience. Are there like certain things that you recommend testing first rather than sort of everything?
Yes. So an easy way to start doing A/B testing is you can, when it comes to advertising, you can test the image or the video makes a huge difference. You can change the headline, try a different headline, or you could try to send the ads to a different audience. So you choose a different target audience on the campaign. So an example of a good A/B test is you have a campaign A where you have the control, and you duplicate that control and create 3 different variations. You change the headline, image, or body copy. And these ads, they run towards audience A, for instance. And then you duplicate the whole campaign, and then you run campaign B towards a different audience. You basically have the same ads in both campaigns, but they are targeting different audiences. So with this test, you would, 1, find out which ad is performing the best, but you would also find out which audience is also performing well, because you have 2 campaigns, same ads, but different audiences. If that makes sense.
Yeah, perfect. So there you have it, really. This is how you can run a proper A/B test with your ads now in 2023. So first you need to start with having your control, or you can say that your ad that acts as your control, and then generate certain types of variations of that ad. And once you have that, then you can test to find out which of those ads are actually performing the best. And once you've found your new winning ad, then that becomes your new control.
Exactly.
So all of this information, of course, is going to be linked in the episode. Carl, thank you very much for your input, and thank you everyone for listening. Take care.
Thank you. Take care.